Hey YouTube, today I'm going to tell a story that's like a week old now, but I just thought it was interesting. So I went to the Bernie Sanders rally and I got a press pass for going there. Now, I didn't pre sign up for this press pass, right? I, uh, I went to the event to film it and uh, it was totally on a lark. Um, I have a lot in my life, and so it's like if I don't even have my homework done for grad school, then I don't do things that are happening out and about anymore because I'm prioritizing. So I got everything done. And I was like, man, I wasn't able to film the Bernie rally, in 2016, and finally I could go, get one on camera. And so it was important to me to go do that. It's like when an MMA fighter gets to have a rematch against somebody that he lost to after he gets a title. He's like, he can call out anyone he wants, and he's like, "Hey, that one loss that I had, I wanna run that back and see if I can beat that guy." To me, that was how I felt filming Bernie Sanders. So I get in line to get into the event, and my friend Chris Curry, who used to be a YouTuber named Anonymous Houston, um, he was texting me saying, "Dude, you better get here quick because they're only letting 4,000 people in." I was like, "What? 4,000 people?" And yeah, the first 4,000 people, right? And so you get in line, and there were Bernie campaign people with tablets who you had to sign your name and put your email and your phone number to get Bernie news. They were collecting everyone's information, and then they give you this little green dot. It was just a paper, you know, run of the mill fluorescent green dot that they would put on you to say that, well, they already got your information, and so they let 4,000 people in. But I got to the front of the line, and there was a guy there checking people's bags and stuff for security, and he asked me, "Are you here filming for a news crew or something? Or are you a journalist?" And the reason why is because I brought, you know, my camera. I have a very large camera for a YouTuber. Um, and no, I'm not compensating for anything, you know. But I got there with my camera already out and on a tripod, ready to just set it up and film. My tripod is 7 foot tall, you know. I have a really good one, and so he's looking at me and he asks, "Are you a journalist?" And I said, "I'm doing this for myself this time." And I knew what I was doing. I was basically social engineering him, triggering him to think, well, sometimes this guy actually does do journalism. And so he thought, better side with caution here. And so he sent me to the other line where media have to get searched and have to, register to get in. And there was a a big platform that everyone who pre-registered to be media at this event were allowed onto, and they all of the spots were already full on that, but they allowed me to set up my tripod like right next to it, but in front of the stairs that go up it. So I got a really really good center on view of Bernie Sanders. But when I went to the media line, I got to the front of that. It was like three people in front of me. I got to the front of that, and they're like, "Did you pre-register as press?" And I said, "No. I waited through that whole long line over there. When I got to the front, the guy said that my camera was too big." And so the security on that side was like, "Man, I wish they would talk to us first." And I was like, but I'll let you search my bag. And they searched my bag, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get into the press entrance, and I get past them, and then I get to a table where they checked my ID and wrote down just like my email address and stuff, and then they gave me this, which I'm going to cherish for a long time. You know, the press pass that I social engineered myself into. Um, but while I was set up as a member of the press right next to their big stand for all the press to be filming from, there were other people who also got in the same way, who weren't exactly, you know, big media. They were small time bloggers, and one of them was a he must have been a very leaning person who he was obviously filming the entire event to do a voiceover while he was filming it, right? So he had a microphone that was Bluetooth connected to his camera, which was very tiny. I mean, it was a little tiny Sony thing, like that big, right? And he was like any time there was an eruption of cheer, that's when he would do his voiceover, like in between the things that Bernie was saying, and it was annoying the hell out of the people that were right on the other side of the steel barrier. And one of them turned around and said, "Hey, we're here to hear Bernie, not you." And so his response to that was, "Well, then listen to Bernie." And I was getting upset because this guy was like less than 10 feet away from my camera at that point, right? So then he continues doing what he was doing, and then the people right in front of me, you know, right with the microphone picking them up as like the closest thing, they turn around and they start arguing with him. And so he goes over there and starts asking a guy a question and points his microphone right in the guy's face as he's talking to him, as if he's going to interview him. Well, that guy, his immediate reaction was to grab at the microphone and try to snatch it from him, right? And when I saw that little tug back and forth, I decided to whip out this cell phone that I'm filming this on and just hit record in case a fight broke out. So I'd be able to, protect the Bernie bot from the, right wing leaning guy who was instigating it all by basically doing a voiceover right in the middle of the actual event, in situ. like, so, it actually ended up looking more like the guy who initially grabbed at the microphone and was gonna like try to steal it was I guess the next second okay with being interviewed for this right wing blogger, and they were having a little conversation for a good minute or two, and so no fight broke out, but the right wing blogger's friend, who I after the event talked to, he told me that yeah, he understands that his friend is an asshole. That's his words, not mine. And his name was Cornbread, and he's a local DJ in the Denver area. And he said if I ever am at one of the events where he is playing, I should come talk to him. you know, up at the stage. I don't know that I'm the type of person that would end up at any event being DJ'd by Cornbread. But if you're ever there and you see Cornbread as the headlining DJ, let him know I mentioned him. But I don't know who the right wing blogger was, but the video previous to this one on my channel is actually the footage from my cell phone, where I only whipped it out to protect people in case a fight broke out, and there should be a term for that sort of precautionary filming of things, like when people get pulled over by police and others whip out their phones to protect that person from the police. There should be a term for that, and I don't know what it is. If you know, please comment. But I don't know. I was thinking maybe just whip it out footage. You know, I was gonna label that footage my whip out footage, but then people might get the wrong kind of thoughts going on in their head. This is not a porn tube video. This is just me trying to protect people, in a very heated political climate. So, those are my thoughts for today.